Unlikely lines from the final Harry Potter book.
Don't worry, Hermione, I can get rid of it. Chlamydia disappearo.
OK, Hermione, said Harry, unbuttoning his zip. I'll show you a really magic wand.
No, there is no post today, said Ron. The Owls are on a one-day strike over pay and conditions.
Midway through the orgy, Ron winked at Harry. This is better than Quidditch, his eyes seemed to say.
It was a magic mirror that showed the future, and in it, Harry seemed to be a 30-year-old actor appearing in something called The Bill.
Get the snitch, said Harry. I'll tie him down and you can drill through his kneecaps.
As the old man stood in front of him in his robes, clutching his wand, Harry regretted transferring to Catholic school.
I'm sorry, Harry. I'm having a baby, and it's yours, said Professor McGonagall.
Then Harry says something, Hermione says something. Oh, who cares? I'm minted.
At the end of that round, ladies and gentlemen, I have to give the points there to Frankie, Hugh and Mark.
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely lines from a children's book.
Mr. Stubborn wouldn't leave. He was the elected leader of the Labour Party.
I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow you, Keith Vaz.
As Noddy looked at his new friends, Rampant Rabbit and Linda the Love Egg, he realised he was in a very different kind of toy town.
And all the animals of Buttercup Farm celebrated because Percy Pig was going to the slaughterhouse and they never had to listen to that whiny little bastard again.
And the beautiful woman was cursed to sleep for 100 years. And that's your defence, is it, Mr. Cosby?
She didn't do it. Don't boo her.
I'm Paddington Bear from Peru, said Paddington. And if you show me where the toilet is, I'll poo out this condom of cocaine.
It's the absolutely horrific follow-up to Netflix and Chill. Swallows and Amazons.
And was there a happy ending? Well, the prince did love massage parlours.
I will never tell you my name. You will have to guess my name, said Rumpelstiltskin, really holding up the queue at Starbucks.
From under the bridge came the voice of the troll. Wow, women can't be Ghostbusters, send!
Every day, Jack and Jill have to walk up a hill to fetch just one pail of water. But for just £5 a month...
Oh, it wasn't a giant peach after all, thought James, as he watched the big friendly giant put on his swimming trunks.
He pushed aside the clothes and there, at the back of the wardrobe, found a magical land of nipple clamps and lube.
There's an Indian in the cupboard. I think he's hiding from UKIP.
Oh, well, come on, I've been in this cupboard for bloody ages.
OK, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear on a quiz show.
You've already used your 50-50 to narrow down the options to A, in, or B, out. Mr. Cameron, are you sure you want to ask the audience?
Well, in that round on sexually transmitted diseases, you passed on 4.
We asked you for things that start with an E. You said, a great night out with the lads.
Welcome to Britain's only quiz about birds of prey. Fingers on buzzards, please.
Here at the Chase, we just want to reiterate that our Chase is not called the Dark Destroyer for any ethnic reasons. Now, please, could you welcome our new chaser, Raj the Head Wobbler Patel.
So the final round on OAP quiz is sudden death. Boom!
Welcome to Eggheads. Well, we couldn't call it smug pricks, could we?
Welcome to Tipping Point, for people who are too thick to follow the chase.
Name, Keith Vaz. I mean, Jim. Occupation, MP. I mean, washing machine salesman.
I'm afraid we're going to have to take your first answer, so let's see if the capital of Azerbaijan is fuck if I know.
Is that your final answer? I'll marry someone else then.
Well, at the end of this week's episode of University Challenge, the scores are Durham 170, Exeter 145. But, of course, the real winner is Ivo's dad, Hugh at home, who got 2 questions right and is going to bang on about it for the rest of the bloody week.
Well, we've given the contestants their meth and sent them to Hampton Court. Welcome to the Crystal Maze.
My chosen specialised subject, your wife. Yeah, you heard me.
I've started, so I'll finish.
Well, that was the banker, and he says he thinks you're going to accept this deal because in his box is your wife.
Well, today it's Kelly Brook and Joey Essex versus Stevens, Hawking and Fry. This is fucking pointless.
At the end of that round, the points go to Rubbish, Ed and Ivo. Go to Rubbish, you and Miles.
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely greeting cards.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Sorry you're dead, what can you do?
Sorry you're leaving, and sorry to break it to you in such a cowardly fashion.
Happy Father's Day, whoever you are, wherever you are.
Roses are red, violets are red, the greenhouse is red. I think I'm bleeding to death.
At this difficult time, I'm thinking of you, wearing suspenders and a mask.
I saw this and thought of you. Blank inside.
My feelings can't be put into words, although the judge did describe them as inappropriate.
that was a scrape. Congratulations on your circumcision.
Congratulations, you did it. And we'll prove it, the Crown Prosecution Service.
It's a girl, not a woman, which is why you're going to prison.
With deepest sympathies for the loss of your grandmother. / happy housewarming.
You've passed. Away.
21 years, and this time you'll probably die in prison.
To our darling son, on your 21st birthday, now get the fuck out of our house.
Please help me. I'm trapped inside a North Korean card factory. Also, Iron Man says happy 4th birthday.
Roses are red, violets are blue. When you go down on me, please don't chew.
OK, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear on a science documentary.
The dinosaurs were wiped out by a giant asteroid. Silly them for all standing in the same place.
Does it burn anything other than Bunsen?
He named the star after himself, and now we find ourselves looking at Arthur Cockmonster III.
So, it glows in the dark and it has a half-life of 1,000 years. Frankly, I've never done a poo like it.
On today's show, we'll be talking about the Jurassic period, where only dinosaurs and Bruce Forsyth roam the earth. He's old, isn't he?
For Sarah Palin, it's conclusive proof that man and dinosaur existed together. For everybody else, the Flintstones is just a cartoon.
Next, biology. Why is that gorilla so sexy?
Let the proton see the electron.
Scientists in Loughborough found the formula to make the perfect cup of tea, which is quite controversial as the grant was for AIDS research.
You've been watching me, Richard Dawkins. Good night and God bless.
See, and the problem with cocaine is it's well Moorish.
Well, we could ask a proper scientist about this, or we could ask Dara O'Brien.
Hello, my name's Dara O'Brien. And to try and bring science to the masses, I'm going to appear in a programme with Stephen Hawking wearing a ridiculous hat.
Just enough with the, you know... I love that hat, by the way.
Hello, I'm Dara O'Brien. And I've got a massive head and a massive brain. But all I get to do in this bit is just press a little button.
Mr. O'Brien, I award you a PhD. Phenomenal head, Dara.
I would just like to say that I think Dara O'Brien's a legend.
I work with Dara O'Brien. And today, my experiment is to turn this joke into a P45.
Okay, well done, dinner. Points go to Ron, Hugh and Miles.
There were protests around the world over an offensive cartoon about the Prophet Muhammad, originally printed in a Danish newspaper. In Beirut, the Danish embassy was set alight, and as the flames reached the kittens... Let's do that again. The flames did not reach the kittens. What are you doing in this Danish embassy? Meow! The beautiful human interest story of just kittens pawing at the window. But who shall save the kittens? I know, the Powerpuff Girls. All right. There were protests around the world over an offensive cartoon about the Prophet Muhammad, originally printed in a Danish newspaper. In Beirut, the Danish embassy was set alight, and for sakes, all I can see are their little faces. It doesn't even say kittens, not even kittens at all. OK, I belong here. I deserve to be here. I'm a professional broadcaster, right? Yeah, top of the kit. There were protests around the world over an offensive cartoon about Muhammad, originally printed in a Danish newspaper. In Beirut, the Danish embassy was set alight, and as the flames reached the kitchens, several passing vegetarians suddenly thought, ooh, that's the one thing I miss most. Yeah, do you know, the kitten stuff was better, wasn't it?
What did the Bank of England unveil last week?
I think it was a new fiver, wasn't it?
This is the new fiver, my friend. This is the new fiver.
Oh, make it rain.
Oh, yeah, I never thought of doing that. Like, oh, yeah, fiver. Yeah. Oh,
You're making it drizzle.
Hang on, that's it, isn't it? That's the motion. These were lent us by the bank for, you know, interesting satirical, not for me to go,
It's literally the worst rap video of all time. Never see Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre fetching the money they've just thrown.
Oh, honey, yeah, £30. Does that make your dreams come true? Oh, this would be terrible. Imagine, because they're plasticky and clear and see through their polymer notes, which means you could actually go to the laptop and go, I can see you. I can see you using my money.
Imagine that at a cashier. I can see you. I can see you. Just pay for the condoms and leave.
The testing that they put them through, they said they dipped it in tea for, you know, all those times you mistake a fiver for a hobnob.
I often do that when I'm taunting younger comedians. Oh, really? I eat my fivers.
It could be they realised the recession was caused by people leaving fivers in their jean pockets, putting them in the wash.
Fivers only last they only rarely last 5 years, a £5 note.
You're thrifty, aren't you?
Yeah?
I could make a fiver. I can't even make it last 5 years.
I mean, honestly, cost of living.
This is the most I've ever been paid for this show.
You can't rip it, can you?
It's very difficult to tear. Very difficult to burn.
News for magicians.
But then it's so irritating. I should make it. Doing. Oh, come on. Sign it for me. Oh, is it here? Doing. Ah, come on. Bloody fivers.
I like that
Have you ripped? They're new ones given to us by the Bank of England specially. Have you literally torn?
Well, they should have made more of an effort to make it stronger. Back to the drawing board, guys.
Can I ask if that's actually allowed? Because one newspaper went mad about the fact that you were defacing the Queen, and then they said of all the indignities Churchill has suffered, being scrunched up, dipped in tea and Ribena is the worst. And I was like, surely it's the Nodding Dog commercial. Is that less dignified? Oh, yes.
We shall fight them on the beaches. So those are the fivers, yes, please, if you can.
Guys, bad news, I lost mine.
Now we play a round called Mock the 9 o'clock news. This game involves Zoe, Stuart, Andy and Russell. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and then you can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winners are the people I judge to produce the funniest stuff. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is finance. Can I have a volunteer to talk about that? Andy.
British Airways, their answer to the credit crunch, they've asked their employees, can you come into work for nothing for a month or take a month off unpaid? There's a tricky choice, isn't there? And who is going to want to fly British Airways? The last thing you want to hear when you get on the plane, this is your captain speaking. I'm not being paid today. Good luck. I am looking forward to seeing the credit crunch version of Monopoly. You know, instead of getting £1,500 from the bank, you have to lend the bank £1,500. And then everybody keeps on going round the board with nobody buying any property whatsoever because they always think it's going to be cheaper next time they go around.
Well done, Andy. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is Sarah Palin. Who wants to talk about that?
Ah, Sarah Palin. She was apparently an ex-beauty queen of a town in Alaska called Wasilla. And the press were very keen on this. They kept saying, you know, the beauty queen, Sarah Palin, the ex-beauty queen, the beauty queen, Sarah Palin. Let me tell you something, people. Wasilla is a very, very small town. Population 8, possibly 9,000 people at the best of times. To call it a one-horse town is to over-exaggerate the number of horses in that town by one. They timeshare a horse with another shithole down the road. Now, my brother used to live in Anchorage, Alaska, and I have been to Wasilla, and in the 5 minutes it took us to drive across Wasilla, I was voted beauty queen of Wasilla. It was no big deal, honestly. An otter and a caribou came second and third, respect.
Thank you very much, Joey. That leaves us with Stuart and Russell. Let's spin the wheel again. The next topic is men's health. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
I went to the doctors recently with anal issues. I thought I had cancer, not I can't put my CDs in order. But it's a terrifying moment, right? So scary, because in your head, I'm going to die. And I went there and I took down my trousers. Obviously, we had a chat first, and it just... I'm not very well. You see that, mate? This is a chip shop. You've never done it slower in your life. I was just peeling them down. I got them down to about there. Just heard his booming voice go, in the other room. You have a decision to make there. Do you pull them up or do you waddle with pride, right? You waddle, that's what you do. When you waddle, you can't help but giggle. The last thing you need is to be giggling is before a man's going to pop his finger in your Richard, because now you're a wiggling target, right? I'll be honest, when the finger goes in, you're not laughing anymore! You're like a red arrow! And that's the moment they chat. How you doing? Fine. When you draw the curtains, we've gathered quite a crowd. Look at that, it's Atrium Steps and he's getting violated. I'm Russell!
OK, Stuart, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is school.
You are looking at a very proud Canadian who's very proud of the education system in Canada. No, I was horrible in school. I failed math so many times I can't even count. I preferred French over chemistry because the chemistry teacher and I just didn't have any, rapport. One teacher said I'd be a better student if I spent less time flirting. I immediately jumped off his lap. One teacher used to always say I wasn't very observant, but you know what? That was his or her opinion. I was going to join the debating team, but someone talked me out of it. In high school, I was voted most likely to reminisce.
Okay, at the end of that round, the points go to Zoe and Stuart. Unlikely personal ads.
I could be the man of your dreams. If you dream of a man who exposes himself to people on trains.
I'm a cat person. I sleep all day and I bury my poo in the garden.
For sex with no strings attached, don't shag a puppet.
Katie Price seeks new husband. Position temporary. Usual terms and conditions apply.
Looking for love in all the wrong places? Well, you wanted to be a priest.
Ugly fat bloke. Looking for a supermodel with a sense of humour.
Man prone to violent mood swings seeks lovely woman to go screw yourself. I love you!
Female, 22, 33, 52. One of them's my age. Are you feeling lucky, punk?
Agoraphobic, seeks claustrophobic, the doorstep encounters.
I am Ponus of the planet Testiclon 8. I seek a human female to take my seed. Make better world for both our planets. Dave, Croydon, box 415.
Pessimistic man seeks depressed old lady so as we can have some really shit times together.
Gorgeous, 5'11", black woman, amazing body, great rack. I just thought I'd put it out there.
I'm a George Clooney lookalike who's looking for a woman with visual impairment.
Do you like swinging? Meet me down by the swings.
I'm looking for a dominant woman. Tell me to call you.
Do you like dogs? Good, because I'm small, hairy, and hung like a border terrier.
Sophisticated, erudite man with fin de siècle tastes. Seeks woman with massive norks.
Man with massive cock. Seeks woman with large hen to discuss poultry farms.
At the end of that round, the points go to Ed, Ava and Andy. This round is called Prime Minister's Questions. For the purpose of this game, I'll be the Speaker of the House of Commons. Rory, you're going to take on the role of Tony Blair. Jeremy and John, you are his Labour colleagues on the front bench. Over here we have the opposition benches with Linda, Hugh and Frankie. You'll be debating on the heavyweight issue of the week to start. I'd like the Prime Minister to give a statement on the government's reaction to the toads in Hamburg, which have been spontaneously exploding. Prime Minister.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I'm sure by now the House will be aware of the tragic incidents in Germany at the weekend in Hamburg, which has seen a number of frogs spontaneously exploding. Our thoughts are with them. At this time, our condolences go to our German counterparts. I'm able to say that no British frogs were involved.
We would very much like to share condolences, but we'd also like a guarantee that the government is taking steps to make sure that none of these frogs make the short hop across the channel, or toads, which I believe is also the subject of the story. And if they do, will he slam the toads in the hole?
Can I just point out to the honourable gentleman, the cause for these exploding toads is, I'm afraid, inflation. And I'm sorry to say... Yeah, oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, inflation, which has been brought under control under this government and was rampaging under your previous administration.
Can I just ask, given that what we know of the Germans historically, how long will it be before they start using these toads in their pornography?
I think that's one for the Minister for Arts and Culture.
Tell me, what steps has the government taken to prevent a suicide toad attack?
Exactly. And I would further add, what measures is the government taking to institute identity cards for toads and frogs who could be getting into this country, soft-touch Britain, as ever, passing themselves off as something harmless such as an owl or a chaffinch?
On that, ladies and gentlemen, I think the opposition take it tonight. The next round is called Between the Lines and features Hugh and Greg. Would you make your way to the press pit, please? Greg delivers a speech in the guise of a leading figure on the world stage while Hugh translates what they really mean. Greg, you are American presidential candidate Barack Obama.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to attempt to emulate my political heroes. Luther, Kennedy, Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King, what's wrong with
No, Martin Luther King is fine. It was Luther.
I love the idea your brain's just going, I can offer you the word tangerine, that is it.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to attempt to emulate my political heroes. Lincoln, Kennedy, Luther King.
I'm going to be assassinated.
Hillary is a wonderful politician, and I'm delighted to have her continued support. Loser! Loser! George Bush has been giving me some tips.
He still thinks I'm the valet who parks his car.
I have the greatest of respect for all of Senator McCain's achievements.
Oven chips.
I will, of course... I'm sorry, I'm starting to sound like some sort of soul singer now. Yeah, we got it together, didn't we, babe?
I'm going to say that's so middle. What are you doing for the Christmas?
I remember years ago getting up really early Christmas morning, running downstairs, ripping open one of my presents, but unfortunately it was a puppy. That's not true. It was a kitten. That's not true. It was an old man. I remember all I wanted for Christmas was an action man. What I got was a plastic doll with a cord on the back, and you pulled it when 25, 25, 25, 30, 35, 35, 35, 40. Looked at the packet. Auction man. I don't know about you, I often feel like Joseph at the inn in Bethlehem, holding a crib of straw and saying, no, I wanted to see the manager. I think the most peaceful Christmas I remember, the manger. I think the most peaceful Christmas I remember was when my mother mistakenly covered the cake with temazepam.
The answer is 1/5. What's the question?
Is this what fraction of the Jackson 5 might miss the Christmas party?
What honour was the actor Nicolas Cage given this year?
Oh, Nicolas Cage, right? He's actually going to be able to turn the Christmas lights on in Bath.
This, by the way, aren't the lights in Bath. This is...
Apparently, what happened
Those
was...
are the lights in Dundee.
Somebody actually put a note through his door. He's got a house in Bath, and he's agreed to turn on the lights. I put a note through Cheryl Cole's door, and apparently that's a matter for the police.
Do you know what's really weird about this story?
Not only is it incredible that they've got Nicolas Cage to do it, but also there must have been an incredibly uneasy phone call to Barry Chuckle. Yeah, sorry, Barry, Nicolas Cage is doing it.
Well,
maybe they gave him a part in an action movie where he knocks out Vin Diesel by turning around quickly with a plank.
Do you know what's really awkward about this story? This is genuinely true. Until last week, I was doing it.
Really?
I was there. Yeah. And then from nowhere, Cage has just jumped. What's funny, all my relatives like, do you want us to sort him out? No, I don't want you to sort him out. Because we'll go around there and mess him up. Don't mess him up.
Because you were originally up for the part in Face Off as well, weren't you?
And what's really funny about it is the lady that posted the letter through the door is the exact lady that went, oh, we'd love you to do it. You'd be great. And then I read in the paper, without even telling me, the big Nicholas... You bitch.
About 10 years ago, I switched on the Christmas lights in Kidderminster.
Wow!
And because I've been rude.
There are Christmas lights in Kidderminster.
Yeah.
Were you asked to do this?
Yeah, because...
We had Bruce Willis!
We've been rude about Kidderminster on television. Got a letter from the Kidderminster Tourist Board or whatever saying, would you come and switch on the Christmas lights? So you think, oh, that'd be great, I'd love to do that. But you don't actually do it. Because what they do is they give you one of those enormous pretend switches, right? And you have to kind of go like this on a balcony to a crowd below, and you kind of go, oh, I'm going to press the thing now. And you press it, and as you press it, a bloke in a room behind turns on a switch. So you're not doing it.
So hang on a minute, so that bloke's going to be me. I'm going to be the
Right. So you were asked to do it because you were rude about
Because I was rude about Kidderminster. I also did a joke once about Wolverhampton and got invited on a tour of Wolverhampton.
I'm thinking bigger than that. If I slag off Jessica Alba, do I get a tour of Jessica Alba?
Well, apparently Bristol wanted to have Bruce Willis switching on their lights, but then they remembered that he tends to get into a lot of trouble around Christmas time.
Why was it difficult to buy Christmas cards this year? Don't do this. Don't do this. This is topical, hot topical for now, mid-December. It's very exciting that we discuss this topic right now.
Did someone not leave a note in a...
You're absolutely right. I'm going to ask a question. So why was it difficult to buy Christmas cards this year?
Because Santa's turned really evil, Dara.
No, it's not because Santa's turned really
evil.
evil.
You say that, but he's turned sensual. He's become the sensual Santa.
No, genuinely, go on. Why? Sorry, what?
It's because Santa's been behaving like an arse.
It's nothing to do with Santa. It's nothing to do with Santa.
Well, this is to do with Christmas. From the top up, he's sensual, he's got the oils.
There's no erotic Santa action here.
If I was an old man with a beard and I looked a little bit like Santa, come Christmas time, I'd just be walking around shops going, here, you've been a naughty boy. Obviously to kids, not to men.
Yeah, that was a bit wrong.
Kids doesn't make
you said it to me and I got slightly scared.
My favourite thing about Christmas, though, has to be the parlour games that you play. We always play a game in our house. We play Celebrity, you know, the thing where you put the names of... Everyone writes the names of those celebrities and you put them in a bowl and you got to pull them out and you got to describe them to your team. You know what I'm talking about? And we were playing that once in our house one Christmas and my auntie pulled out Steve Jobs, the head of Apple, which gives you a window into what my family are like, that Steve Jobs, the head of Apple, is considered a celebrity. And she didn't know who Steve Jobs was because she's only married into the family. She's not as big a nerd as the rest of us. And so she says, first name is the McQueen, who was in The Great Escape. So we all go, Steve. And then she goes, the surname is... And she points at her husband, my uncle, who was made redundant in the recession. and went, his surname is, you've not got one of these anymore. Which, funny in itself, as funny as that was, what was even funnier was my ma, who was right at the end of the row, and at the angle she was at, thought that my auntie was pointing at my dad. And my ma went, Steve Prostate. That pretty much did us for the rest of the night, that is.
Our next round is a festive Between the Lines that features Hugh and Russell. Would you make your way to the press pit, please? Russell delivers a speech in the guise of a lead. The cushion. That was your cushion, wasn't it, that you nicked? Yeah.
Oh, that was really horrible.
By contrast...
Touch your cramp.
Oh, madness occurs in the compilation.
It's Christmas. We're having a laugh at Christmas.
Oh, it's ghastly. Oh, I hope you're having a good Christmas.
Watching this, you loser.
Look at them whenever you do to do right. We're having a laugh. I hope you are too. I'm here with my loved ones. Maybe you are too. The next round is Between the Lines. It features Hugh and Russell. Would you make your way to the press pit, please? Russell delivers a speech in the guise of a leading figure on the world stage, while you, his name isn't you. Hugh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I can't believe you flinched then. I wasn't going to hurt you.
You could have. Hugh and Russell, would you make your way to the press pit, please? Russell delivers a speech in the guise of a leading figure on the world stage, while Hugh translates what they really mean. This week, Russell is Prince Charles.
My loyal subjects.
I know. One can dream.
My mother asked me to give the Christmas speech this year.
I think that's what she said, but the pillow was muffling her voice.
I'm going to talk about the things that really matter to the British people.
Architecture, polo, and cars that run on cheese.
Season's greetings from Sandringham. The royal family always feel at home in Norfolk.
We're poorly educated inbreds who enjoy torturing animals.
Yesterday we played golf all afternoon. Andrew shot 2 birdies and an albatross.
And my father shot a fox, 2 dogs, and a teenage criminal from King's Lynn.
I've come up with an exciting new initiative.
These aren't just biscuits. These are Dutchy original biscuits.
Speaking of which, we still need to work on our ginger nuts.
Prince Areas, we call him.
It's really wonderful to see... Sorry, wrong voice. Let's do it again. Merry Christmas.
Is that your Nick Griffin impression?
It's really wonderful to see the kind of man William has grown into.
A toothy, bald man.
Wills has the charisma, charm, and media skills that made his mother an icon.
And Harry has the personality, courage, and ginger hair that made his father a major in the British Army.
My father is 89, and I can assure you his health is as rude as ever.
Only this morning he said, "Merry Christmas, you jug-eared tit."
Well done, Hugh and Russell. In other news, who's in line for Christmas #1?
This is the Pope. The Pope is going to be releasing a record.
Somebody from Geffen Records, who are his record company, said the Pope has got almost a lullaby tone to the way he sings.
Schlieffen, Kinder! Schlieffen! Schlieffen!
Oh, the Santa Claus, Nick's coming! Nick's coming! Schlieffen!
You think it's going to be a very popular record, though, isn't it? It's not just going to be Christians who are going to want to buy it. Everybody is going to want to buy it, because those who aren't Christians are going to want to play it backwards to see if there's a different message inside.
Wouldn't that be great? Just meet me by the bins, meet me by the bins, yeah. Meet me by the bins, meet me by the bins. Oh, meet me by the bins. I'm buying it.
I think you should record that. That's actually quite good.
In fact, let's do that. Let's rival him. Let's do a Mock the Week Christmas song and see if we can't get it to #1.
And will the lyrics have to be "Meet me by the bins, meet me by the bins, meet me by the bins"?
We can put that in the video.
Guys, what are we doing making a Christmas album when we could clean up with a calendar?
feels. You don't feel that.
What is going on?
Oh, my God. You don't
What are you doing?
Don't give up the nipple.
No.
You don't show the nipple. That's the juice. You got to hold that back.
I'll let you in a secret. I've got 2.
God, this is the happiest Christmas ever.
You've no idea how often we see these.
Scaramanga is amongst us.
Yeah.
How fat were your nipples? They're incredible. The size of them.
My nipples are...
Are we supposed to be insecure about our nipples now?
What
fingers you're looking at?
Oh, do it some more. Do it some more. Anti-clockwise, anti-clockwise. Oh, yeah.
January, Betsy.
We're giving you 1 month just as a bit of a teaser here, and the other ones you have to buy, I'm afraid. We're kind of getting you addicted to the heroin with his nipples, and then we're withholding the gravy from there on in. Yeah. Why, where will you be? Will you be, like, you know, sitting behind a piano or something? Or maybe, you know, what?
I'll be on top of the piano like the Fabulous Baker Boys.
Where will you be, Dara?
That's what you call your testicles?
I see Dara as a sort of a farm hand. Just logs everywhere.
Rustic.
Just loads of girls going.
Yeah.
Or it could be very artistic. It could be very artistic. It could be like Munch's The Scream, and it's just you completely naked.
Yeah. I like this album.
Thank you very, very much. In a kind of is that my cock out? Oh! Here, on a bridge in Norway.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
And they also said that would, and this is the key phrase, they said it'd be Christmas for criminals. Which actually made it sound quite sweet. They're all going to sit down and have a stolen turkey. I got you an iPod. I have an iPod. No, you don't.
Christmas isn't a good day for criminals.
Christmas is a great day for criminals.
No, isn't everyone's in. It's an absolute nightmare of anything.
In Ireland, see, traditionally was because everyone would get loads of presents and then go to mass. At which point, criminals would just break into the house and nick all their presents. Was that? Oh yes, of course. Yeah.
It's also the one time of year where you won't look suspicious wearing a great big white beard with a big sack over your shoulder.
How will one London shop be getting into the festive spirit early?
Are they going to be selling really big hats?
This bit's going to appear in the Christmas special and has got no relevance.
Ding dong, let's all sing it together. Ding dong, merrily on her.
OK, how will one London shop be getting into the festive spirit early?
Suffragists have started selling Christmas stuff. Well, they're selling it from the beginning of August.
Yes, they are.
Do you know one thing they don't sell at Selfridges, interestingly, is fridges? They don't.
You know, there's a gap in them. You think they would have spotted that? You think somebody would have been sitting there in the canteen looking at a sign from the shop and gone, ding! Light bulb. From the light bulb department, obviously. Yes, they do. And people are very angry with this. Why are people angry with this?
Maybe they're angry because they're selling, apparently, a life-size donkey for £500.
Yes.
And you're thinking, no wonder that they've got to start selling in August. They need all of that build-up to actually flog a life-size donkey. Who wants a life-size donkey? You can imagine people wanting maybe a little nativity scene, but there's not much point having a little Joseph and a little Mary and a giant donkey. It won't look like something out of the Bible. It'll look like something out of Shrek.
Where's the baby Jesus? He's been eaten by the donkey.
What is trying to sell that thing? It's like flogging a dead horse.
Very rarely will that phrase be used as appositely as that.
But the thing is, Christmas, like, because I've been asked to do the Bath lights again.
Again?
But I can't take on that.
Because you know that you were turned down the first time.
Because he'll turn up again and ruin it.
He's not. He sold the house. Sorry, you know this, don't you? You know this, don't you? He was asked to do it last year, and then they turned him over for some Nicolas Cage guy.
Yeah, but Depp's around there as well. Depp will nick it off me. I can't compete with Depp. I saw Depp in Bath High Street, and a woman actually went, "Whoa!" You know? I've never made a woman make a noise like she just jumped into a cold jacuzzi.
Dar, you lit the Maidenhead ones, didn't you?
Is this joke going to run and run all the way through to Christmas?
Forever. Unlikely things to hear at Christmas.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry about that. It was alive when I wrapped it.
Your present's under the tree. I won't tell you which one. There's the forest. Here's a spade.
Yes, well, of course. Your mother always enjoys a good stuffing. Well, she used to.
Coming up, how to cook giblets. I'm terribly sorry, it's Madonna live in concert.
Shh, I'm trying to watch the Queen's speech.
I'm all for fun, but I draw the line at Twister.
What's your present? Ho, ho, ho! It's a hoe.
Hello, my loyal subjects. Christmas is a difficult time of year for everyone, except for me, since I found out about cash for gold. Cha-ching!
Batteries included.
Let's play charades. Your mother and I are going to pretend to be happily married while the neighbours come round for a drink.
And, of course, we're all very sorry to hear of the death of Santa Claus, but if you are going to grow a white beard and live in a grotto, it's only a matter of time before the Americans bomb the shit out of you.
No, Sandra, I think you must have misunderstood. Please don't show me that sack.
Dear Santa, please could I have a less violent stepdad?
One for the DVD.
sorry, I beg your pardon.
This year, I cooked the turkey Nigella style. By that, I mean I did the cooking whilst your dad went and cracked one up.
OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Ed, Andy and Mo.
In the current financial market, a dog is not just for Christmas, it's for Christmas dinner.
Bad news, I'm afraid. Santa didn't realise it was an eco house and he's been sliced to pieces by the wind turbine.
Have you been a naughty boy this year, Tommy? Would you like to be? I've got money.
Well, it seems ironic, really, doesn't it? We buy a non-drop Christmas tree and then this happens to Grandad.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me chlamydia.
A grain of rice for Christmas. Thanks. Thanks, Uncle Ben.
Now we are all familiar with Grandma's charade of basic instinct. Shall we turn the TV back on?
Why is your nose so red, Rudolph?
Because I'm an alcoholic.
You'd have thought the retail sector would have found some way to monetize this festival.
Baby Jack, we didn't know whether to get you a toy or a pet, so we've compromised and bought you a rattlesnake.
Hey, great! New socks! I'm off for a wank.
I remember when I stopped believing in Father Christmas. The year he abused me.
Mum! I was hiding in a sock and Andy did something weird.
Daddy, I ripped up one of my presents too quickly, and it was a puppy.
I discovered last night that your father has been having an affair. One of the chipolatas might taste a little bit strange.
Last night, Santa emptied his sack in our room. Which is why I'm leaving your mother.
This Christmas, I've decided to keep my Christmas broadcast short and sweet. Piss off.
I had a really good analogy for this, because I think it's really, really terrifying, isn't it? These voiceless people seem to be having, and vulnerable people having their benefits cut. And the trouble with Tories is they tell you that they kind of sell this idea that it's these people's fault. And so this is my analogy. So I don't know if you know this, but girls, when they're in the toilets, some girls hover because they think that public toilets are disgusting.
What, off the floor?
No. Yes! It's amazing. We can do that.
You are amazing!
But we only do it in secret or you'll love us too much. So the girls hover above the toilet seats and then they wee, and then that means that what they do is they kind of spray a fine mist all over the toilet seat, which means that if you're a trusting person who doesn't think that toilets are disgusting, you just sit down and then you're covered with somebody else's urine and you have to take it off. And actually the point is, if no one ever hovered, everyone could sit on toilets. It would be fine for everyone. It's just like the Tories. You see?
It's a hell of an analogy. That is... I think we can all get behind that as a political slogan if nobody ever hovered.
I don't know whether I like girls more or less after that.
I'm just glad that I'm not the only one who hovers.
OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely lines from a thriller.
Michael, Peter, David, Vladimir, I think we may have a spy in the organisation.
Give me the pentagon, then the triangle, and then the square.
Ah, Pussy Galore, Bond here. I've been told by my doctor that I need to contact all previous partners.
The owner of this motel dresses up as his mother and stabs people. But the guidebook says it's still better than the Ibis.
I want you to go to Warsaw, meet a man called Borislav. You'll then ask him why he didn't fix my plumbing before he left the home.
Miss Scarlett looked at him through the window. He had one massive testicle like a space hopper. That was why they called him Professor Plum.
This is no ordinary pen, Bond. Turn it upside down, the woman's clothes drop off and you can see her face.
Red or green, which do I cut? Come on, they're only peppers. How long is this salad going to take?
We need to find the third man. There's no way Amanda Holden will shag just two of us.
Here's Simon.
The Orient Express has been cancelled. However, there was a murder on the temporary Orient replacement bus.
I have amnesia. The tattoos on my body will tell me what happened. Dara was here.
I'd been a serial killer for 4 years, but they'd never given me a nickname. Then, you bite one guy in the ass, and suddenly you're the butt muncher.
Ah, the butt muncher's got me! The butt muncher's got me!
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear on a survival show.
This is the most terrifying animal you can see in the wild. It has the body of Posh Spice.
Of course, if you're on an expedition, you must always make sure you boil all the water. Now, this can really slow you down if you come to a lake.
It's been 17 days since my last proper meal, and I am beach body ready, bitches.
Bear, are you related to George Foreman grills?
I've not had a bath for days on end. And that's because Rob Beckett's dad is in there.
There is barely any water here, so we've been collecting our urine. But this morning, some of it was gone, and that is taking the piss.
Spent 3 days in the jungle with nothing to eat but raw caterpillars. I remember the moment I walked back into civilization. Whew, there are a few butterflies in my stomach, I can tell you.
When I was thirsty, I was forced to drink my own urine. I'm now hungry and dreading dinner.
And when you're in the wild, you've got to remember what you learn at Scouts. Don't tell anyone our little secret.
Well, night is falling, it's raining, and I'm in the shelter, but it still feels dangerous here. There are 6 teenagers staring at me, and the bus doesn't arrive for 20 minutes.
If you suddenly see a bear extremely close to you, the best thing to do, stand stock still. Pull down your trousers and just let it have sex with you.
On the men's island, Derek's drinking coconut water because Derek's a hipster twat.
After 3 months totally alone on the island, it's amazing that John hasn't gone mad. Isn't that right, John? Yeah, it is, yeah.
So, I've managed to make a raft to escape the island by smashing up some boats.
Okay. The next topic is unlikely things to hear over at Tannoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Waitrose, you smug, rich pricks.
This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Would somebody please go to the power tools aisle and get me a drill?
If you see an unattended bag, please don't report it. Remember, you're in world of luggage.
Good evening, ladies. Topshop will be closing in 5 minutes. Please make your way to the till unless you're over 30, in which case piss off to M&S, you ancient old hag.
This is an announcement for the front desk of the swimming baths. Could doctor someone's done a shit in the pool? Please come to reception.
Would the couple having sex in aisle 2 please stop? Spillage in aisle 2.
The 1625 has unfortunately been cancelled and has been replaced by a replacement bus service. EasyJet would like to apologise for all passengers who are going to Greece.
I only work in the post office for the crumpet. Watch this. Widow number 2, please.
In tonight's performance of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the part of the child catcher will be played by a 1970s TV presenter.
Welcome to Sexist Airways. I'm just going to pop on the seatbelt sign for a moment because we're swapping to a lady pilot.
We are now coming into land in Russia, where the local time is 1956.
Welcome aboard the one-way saga service special to Switzerland.
Just trying to have a laugh.
Attention to the submarine crew of HMS Nando's. Be careful not to burn your eyes on the periscope.
Lost children can be found at the Lost Children tent. If they're not claimed by the end of the day, they will be destroyed.
Welcome to Megabus. Things haven't worked out quite as well as you were hoping, have they?
Welcome to the Sexist Supermarket. Checkout number 3.
Okay, at the end of that round, the points go to Josh Hewitt Milton. Hey, another news, what is this?
That's a chart.
It's a chart, yes. A chart of what?
This is the new point system that immigrants must adhere to if they want to live in this country.
Yes, you get bonus points if you've got English, and you lose points if you fail to integrate, which seems harsh in the initial interview. You know, turn up dressed as a pearly queen. Oi! Good integrating, well done.
It's basically racist, isn't it? What, people are going to have to learn English to get a British passport? No, I'm afraid it's my family and I will be murdered if we go home. Not my family and me. Back to the Sudan with you.
They want them to learn British history, but essentially British history is us invading their country, enslaving their people, and then nicking their natural resources. Always good to remind them of that before we welcome them into the country.
But nobody says this, right? If you're seeking asylum in this country, you probably need asylum. Right? If you come from a sunny country and you want to move to Birmingham, someone in your homeland is trying to murder you. If you're rocking up to Preston looking for a better life, things have gone very badly wrong where you come from. Let those people in. Don't say to those people, hey, you're a heart surgeon in your homeland, but you read very badly from Beowulf. We'll have to let you go.
But it's really unfair, though, isn't it? Because it always comes down, they have to know things about Winston Churchill. You ask anyone in this country, give us a famous quote from Churchill, and I guarantee they'll go, oh, yes.
Has any, you know, because this is to the points to get yourself into the country. Currently, there is a Life in the UK test, which features questions like this. After the Second World War, where did British textile and engineering firms send agents to find workers? Now, judging by the reaction of the audience here and 6 blank faces here, and even more weirdly, there's another question from the life skills test. Where does Santa Claus come from? Now, there's debate in this country about that particular issue, let alone there is no hard and fast answer to that one, but that is among them. Why don't you just, if you really want people to mix in, just give them a simple finish the sentence question with questions like, the referee's a what? And if they can finish that, like the Frosty's there, what?
Why don't we just go the whole hog, admit we're racist, and at immigration control have a Dulux wall chart, and when people rock up, we go burnt umber, I'm afraid not. Autumn sunset, in you come, just.
By the way, this announcement of this new clampdown on immigration, what made it slightly awkward?
It was a fantastic story because there was an illegal immigrant found hiding underneath a bus that was full of people who work for immigration.
Yes, it was.
Isn't that a brilliant story?
It was a bus carrying staff of the UK Border Agency, and an illegal immigrant clambered underneath it and hid beside the fuel tank.
The last place they'll look.
It is. It clearly was the last place.
Just for cheekiness, he should be allowed in because that is brilliant. That is like a mouse sneaking into the house by holding onto the cat's nipples, isn't it? It's just...
Well, apparently when they got to Folkestone, he just legged it. I'd have loved to have been on that bus and seen those guys. But, well, I think that went quite well, don't you? I think it went quite... Oh, dear, who's that chap? I don't want to sound racist, but there's no way that any of us are going to catch him over 5,000 metres.
OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Frankie Hugh and Stuart.
OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely lines from a children's book.
Mr. Stubborn wouldn't leave. He was the elected leader of the Labour Party.
I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow you, Keith Vaz.
As Noddy looked at his new friends, Rampant Rabbit and Linda the Love Egg, he realised he was in a very different kind of toy town.
And all the animals of Buttercup Farm celebrated because Percy Pig was going to the slaughterhouse and they never had to listen to that whiny little bastard again.
And the beautiful woman was cursed to sleep for 100 years. And that's your defence, is it, Mr. Cosby?
She didn't do it. Don't boo her.
I'm Paddington Bear from Peru, said Paddington. And if you show me where the toilet is, I'll poo out this condom of cocaine.
It's the absolutely horrific follow-up to Netflix and Chill. Swallows and Amazons.
And was there a happy ending? Well, the prince did love massage parlours.
I will never tell you my name. You will have to guess my name, said Rumpelstiltskin, really holding up the queue at Starbucks.
From under the bridge came the voice of the troll. Wow, women can't be Ghostbusters, send!
Every day, Jack and Jill have to walk up a hill to fetch just one pail of water. But for just £5 a month...
Oh, it wasn't a giant peach after all, thought James, as he watched the big friendly giant put on his swimming trunks.
He pushed aside the clothes and there, at the back of the wardrobe, found a magical land of nipple clamps and lube.
There's an Indian in the cupboard. I think he's hiding from UKIP. Oh, well, come on, that's unfair.
I've been in this cupboard for bloody ages.
Yes, the answer I was looking for was Gove announces exam changes. This is the news that Education Secretary Michael Gove has announced a new English baccalaureate certificate to replace GCSEs. From 2015, students will work towards a demanding 3-hour exam at the end of a 2-year course rather than the current combination of coursework, modular exams and multiple retakes.
He's even invented an exam that thicker kids won't be able to pronounce. It's the back of what? The back of what? The back. Oh, give me a shovel, I'll go down to mine.
I think the idea is if you're academic, then you get a baccalaureate, and otherwise they teach you practical skills like how to baccalaureate.
The Tories have assured us that under this system no child will be left behind, but how can we take Tory promises that no child will be left behind seriously when their leader's David Cameron?
What's the, do you know what the abbreviation is?
It's called
EBC.
EBAC.
It's called the EBAC.
Which is when Yorkshire people make payment over the internet.
I thought that was something from Star Wars, isn't that?
Yes, it was.
EBAC?
Do you know who hated
I
the
bet you
EBACs?
can't do the impression.
Skywalker! Your EBACs will not qualify you to run the Empire.
There's been a lot of debate over, whether grades have been devalued, and I was discussing that recently with my nephew, Professor Timmy.
So, hang on, sorry, because it's one of these things that I genuinely am always perplexed about, coming from a different country as I have, with my spices and my silks.
You
To your nation. And there's so many great things about it, except your exams, which are mad. And not that the education, by the way, is great. I'm not saying anything about the education people get here, it's fantastic. But the exams are mad.
There are people who, when confronted with an exam paper, just go to pieces completely and forget how to count, and I think it's very unfair that they are marking the papers.
There are people who just shouldn't be taking exams. My friend Carl was at sixth form college with a girl who got her A-level results, and when she pulled out the piece of paper, the 3 letters telling her what her future would be, she went, that spells none.
People make an awful lot about the pressure that kids are under, and I suppose they are, but speaking as an ex-teacher, when it comes to exam time, there's far worse pressure on the teachers, because you have to spend sometimes 4 or 5 hours in those halls just walking up and down, and it's a recipe for insanity. I had no choice when I was teaching but to invent a game called Campile. It was just to see who could walk up and down the aisle the campest. We started off just sort of slightly mincing. Honestly, by the end of it, I was walking down a full aisle of children like this. And I knew it was time for me to leave teaching when I got to the end of one aisle, genuinely. During an actual GCSE, a kid looked up at me and went...
So were you essentially voguing your way?
I'm not exaggerating. By the end of it, I was like...
The thing is, they want to make the exams harder, don't they? But surely they're hard enough already if your teacher is walking up and down, camping it up.
Oh, no, I'm still qualified, technically. We'll have to cut this bit out.
Really? Is that your safety net?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Do you think anybody, having seen you in betweeners, anybody who's ever gone to a
Well, you've always got a trade.
I did a gig at the University of Central England, which is in Birmingham. That's what they're trying to hide from you. And as an opening line, I said, UCE, so called because that's the grades it takes to get in. But I had to explain it to them.
I'll tell you what, I was in an exam when I was at school. My mate, at the back of the hall went... we were all waiting to leave. Someone at the back of the hall went... Bow. And Mr. Mearden, the exam invigilator, went... And then someone else went... Bow. And then... Bow. From different parts of the hall, and it led to my favourite sentence I've ever heard come out of an adult's mouth, which was, all right, no one leaves until the meowing stops.
Things you wouldn't hear at the Winter Olympics.
And here are the British ice dance pair, Heather Mills and John Sargent.
And now, over to bobsled. Bob, how's the curling?
And while we wait for them to get set up there, we'll just pan the camera around. There's just a beautiful scenery. Oh, look, there's a herd of moose. Oh, no, that's the Romanian women's ice hockey team.
This is the big hill. Oh, that's long! That's very long! He's gonna wish he'd done his flies up.
It's 1 a.m. in the UK. You're watching the women's figure skating. Why not just bite the bullet and turn to Television X for the 10-minute preview?
And and Britain comes away with 2 gold, 2 silver and a bronze. Well, that'll teach the Austrians a lesson for leaving their locker open.
And with conditions here reaching a bitter minus 20 degrees centigrade, the British hopeful from Newcastle has put on a second-string vest.
You're watching the women's curling. Men's curling? Women's. You're watching the curling.
No one has more experience on the ice than him. What a wonderful games it's been so far for Pingu.
And the conditions are perfect here, aren't they, John? Yes, they are, Bob. I haven't seen this much white powder since that stag weekend at the hotel in Bangkok.
Oh, and that's what ice hockey is all about. A man having his head repeatedly smashed into a glass wall.
The ski jump will start as soon as the British skier takes his hand off the side and stops crying.
And there, the skier has surprisingly stopped off halfway down for a mulled wine and a shit.
At the end of that round, the points go to Russell, Ed and Andy. And the topic is history.
Some things in history are good, some things are bad, some things are good, and then they get bad, like my great-great-great-uncle was bored in the trenches during the war, so he invented the high-vis jacket. That was the last thing he did. People don't really understand evolution, do they? I was talking to an Australian the other day, and he thought that he came from Darwin. Recently, I wrote a book called All the Things I've Ever Done in My Entire Life, and I don't want to spoil it, but in the end, I write a book. So what's got 2 eyes and smokes? Pompeii. Too soon? My grandfather, he can't do what he used to, you know, bomb the Japanese. And it turns out you can't actually keep an artefact that you find with a metal detector if it's already in the British Museum.
Thank you very much. At the end of that round, the points go to Gabor.
What do you want for Christmas this year?
I don't know. I don't want anything for Christmas.
Hand drop off an elf.
You get the #1 gift party for kids this year?
Nerf guns.
The Nerf gun is 64 quid. And you could go to America and buy a gun for less than that.
Actually, it's like it's a ludicrously scary thing, the Nerf gun. This is the current...
Don't point that there. Hey! Point that over somewhere else.
I promise I'll be really, really careful. I wouldn't dream of doing that to you. Of all the people here, you were the last person that I would fire the... Boom! Hang on. Oh, yeah, there's 3 things you can do, right? You can do this big one here.
What?
Right.
Listen, Nerf is how I did this to my eyes. So I'm just saying, yeah. I'm just warning you.
OK, cool. I'll get him instead. Right, OK, Grant. Are we OK to sacrifice you for this? And then you can do these.
I guess so.
I bet you could catch one of your
certain
teeth,
there's an instruction manual that says do not aim at people's faces.
Yeah.
Please remember that I am a special man with special powers, and do not try this at home.
How far will it get? How far do you think it'll get?
I don't know, but if he hits any of you, sue the shit out of you. All that money they're saving on Bake Off now can go to you.
Can you get to the back? I mean, because this is... I feel it can be unnecessarily powerful, this thing.
Yeah.
Right, OK, so let's decide
Yes,
the back.
I certainly feel that.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Oh, nah. Good catch. Well done. Respect. That is, I'm estimating 7 gardens away.
So you asked, what do you want for Christmas? So you could then shoot us.
Why would you want to be given clothes as a Christmas present in Iceland?
Because it's really cold.
It's freezing there.
It's a land of ice, Dara!
Is it because you can take them back and get the money back in exchange for the clothes?
No, it's not that perfectly practical
really
good reason to get clothes.
Yeah, because clothes is just a good present wherever you are.
Oh, God, yes, I know. OK, the question...
Because people don't have
I'm sorry,
clothes.
are you getting exasperated at us, trying to think of humorous answers to ridiculous questions that you're posing? Should we just try our hardest to come up with the correct answer? Would that slightly miss the point of a comedy quiz?
No. Is it because normally they sell frozen food?
The reason you should be given clothes as a Christmas present is to stop you getting eaten by the Yule cat. Yule Kuterin.
I tell you what, I wonder why you didn't get the QI presenting job. There's got to be one show you don't present, doesn't
There
Uh,
has to be, yeah. Potentially, yeah. What might you expect to eat at Christmas in Japan?
Food.
Yes.
Sushi.
No.
Sashimi.
No. Don't just name all Japanese things you can think of.
Wagamamas.
No. A bucket of...
Eels.
No.
Turkey.
That's not a clue.
It's a really good clue. A bucket
Fried chicken.
Of fried chicken.
Is it fried chicken?
It's fried chicken, Nish. Not just any fried chicken.
Kentucky Fried
Kentucky
Chicken.
Fried Chicken. Since 1974, KFC has marketed itself in Japan as a Christmas food.
Oh, very clever.
With the advertising phrase, Kentucky for Christmas. That's... Look.
I beg your pardon.
Kentucky for Christmas. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Catherine, which category would you like?
Politics.
OK, politics it is. The answer is 10 billion. What is the question?
Is it how many hours of community service will Justin Lee Collins have to do before a girl agrees to date him again? Is it how many undeserved chances will Rihanna give Chris Brown?
This is the news that at the Conservative Party conference in Birmingham this week, Chancellor George Osborne announced that in its drive to reduce the deficit, the government will cut a further £10 billion in the welfare budget by 2017. Where's that going to come from?
Well, just checking, they're not cutting friends with benefits, right?
Still fine. That's still grand. Up to the age of 25. Who has received a hero's welcome at the conference?
Batman!
Yes, the bit where Batman came. No, not Batman.
Oh, Boris.
Boris Johnson.
Boris Johnson said he wanted to be tough on crime. And this was after, apparently, he's had 6 bikes nicked. And you're wondering, has he really had 6 bikes nicked? Or 6 times he just hasn't got a clue where he in fact left?
What was the hero's welcome? What did they do for him?
So they kind of clapped. It wasn't like they threw rose petals or anything like that. They were just very happy to see
Well, a
him.
hero's welcome. You know, in Aladdin, when he's on the elephant and it's, hey, clear the way in the old bazaar. Hey, you, let us see. It's a bright new star. Oh, come be the first on the block to meet his eye. You know, you're gonna love this guy. That... That's the hero's welcome.
I defer to your definition of a hero's welcome. At no point did Boris arriving on, near, or confusingly like an elephant.
The question is, would you recommend this A&E department to your friends and family? Well, what are you going to say to them? Oh, well, don't worry, you've had an accident. You're going to St Mark's, and that's got a crack in A&E.
Change the beginning of Casualty.
wasn't it? Just a man falling off his shed onto his garden rake and then crawling to his laptop to go on TripAdvisor.
Or just come home to your partner, square up, and go, I'm going to send you someplace nice.
Well, I've never heard domestic violence put quite as charmingly as that.
Is it earth, wind, and douchebag? Well, David Blaine, he used to be an illusionist, and now he's an endurance performer, which just sounds like homeless to me. David Blaine's biggest magic trick is staying relevant.
And it's nationality. Who wants to give us?
Hello. I'm of mixed heritage, actually. I talk like a Canadian, but I tolerate my partner's drinking like an Irish girl. I travel a lot, from London to Ireland, and anyone who's flown Heathrow to Cork knows that on your way to the plane, they have signs reminding you how many chances you've got left to get drunk. They're like 6 licensed shops, 2 shops, 1 shop. It's like, what? Before I board an aircraft filled with wine to get to the land of Guinness? And the final shop is right at the gate. And in that shop, there's a sign that says, no ID, no sale. And I'm like, this is an international airport. How about no ID? How'd you get on the plane? It is in the boarding lounge. If a terrorist manages to sneak through levels of security at the world's busiest international airport, give him a pint.
Thank you very much, Cathy Ryan.
Is it Harvest Festival attracts troublemaker?
No, it's holy F, a Teletubby. Looking at the whole picture, is it the London Underground where sexy singles meet?
He said that he's never going to talk to anyone on the tube again. I want to be there when a tourist comes up to him and goes, is this Marble Arch? And he has to go...
Well, it's the only way they'll learn. You'll have to go through that. Hello, Londoner. I'm just out from Ireland. I was wondering what train I should... Oh, you're going? OK, I'll try another one.
I would talk to you, Mr. O'Brien.
Yeah.
I would take you to your destination and carry your bags.
Thank you very much. But you are a foreigner. I've been here too long, and now I shun you as well. Hello.
All right. I'll pretend I'm on a tube. Ask me a question.
Hello, sir. I was wondering if you knew this is the perfect place to change for the Jubilee line.
Excuse me, I was wondering if this is the right place for... I want to get to Buckingham Palace.
It's shameful. This man is a pioneer, the first man ever to speak on the tube. And your people, instead of lifting him up, you punish him by making him coach your football team.
Scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, the first subject is lines you wouldn't hear in a Bond movie.
Hey, it's me, Pussy. Pussy no more? Yeah, I'm post-op now. It's going real good.
Unlikely things to hear at a party conference.
Let's get drunk and join the Euro. Here in support of Testicular Cancer Awareness Week, it's Shadow Chancellor Ed Ball.
Or, still as cool as ever, it's Entourage, the movie.
In the interim, she had taught the parrot to slag him off.
You can do that with real-life kids. This is an outrage. It's an absolute outrage. I think we forget sometimes who the real victims are. And it's people like me who see the word FIFA. I know that word means football. There's a secret history that you guys know all about. I have no idea what's going on. I thought they got arrested because all their migrant workers were dying all over the place. That's apparently not the problem.
Also in the news this week, who can tell me what's going on here?
Is that Barack Obama playing pretzel buckaroo?
Or is Barack shaking the hand of the very pretzel that choked George W. Bush? He's having a nice time. No breakfast is ever made better by Stephen Harper or David Cameron showing up to it. It's not like he's waiting to start the party when Cameron gets there. Boy, aye.
From the other side, they all turn and Cameron's like, here it comes. The answer is 5. But what is the question?
Is it, how many basic bitches does it take to escort Kate Moss off an EasyJet flight?
Is that a thing? Is that like a...
I'm a pretty basic bitch.
I think you're an ornate bitch, right? I think
You think I'm a ratchet-ass hoe?
Well, I didn't want to make it too obvious, so I've got a little soft spot for you.
Is it how many names are currently written on Taylor Swift's blank space?
Is it as a...
I know it's a song. I know Taylor Swift.
You know Taylor Swift?
Hate.
Is this what we do? If ever we mention any band and you're going to do an impression?
No, that's not what's going to happen here.
Is it Kate Bush?
Commercials that never made it to air.
FIFA summer sofa sale. Total office clear out. Bribe now, pay later. Why pay more for ratchet, trifling-ass pilots when you can get to where you're going on EasyJet? A basic bitch will get you there.
Lines you wouldn't hear in a sci-fi movie.
This man can now reach the full potential of his brain. Joey, wake up. You can tie your shoes. Reem. The dinosaurs are killing everyone. Why do we keep reopening this park? Who keeps giving us public liability insurance?
We saw it around called Picture of the Week. I showed the panel a topical image and asked me to tell me what's happening. So here's a picture of the 4 Labour leadership hopefuls. What's going on here?
Is it AshleyMadison.com relaunches with hip new image? Is it a charity appeal? Like, for £3 a month, you could buy these deluded fools fresh water and false hope. They're calling it Corbyn mania, but you can't just put mania at the end of a word and think that it means something. Like Beatlemania, that was when they played to 55,000 people in Shea Stadium. Corbyn mania is 1,100 bored pensioners in Norfolk.
Congratulations to the Germans, but I'm going to say it. Historically, I've never forgiven them. No. Do you remember Frank Lampard's goal in the 2010 World Cup? That was way over the line. What? No way is this outweigh that.
You mean 800,000...
No wonder they're trying to be the good guys of Europe.
You think this whole... taking in 800,000 refugees...
It would have made it 2-2, Dara!
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it, Josh. Germany's getting World Cup points for each Syrian that they let in. I've already got a $5 on a German Syrian to win Eurovision. I just like the narrative.
There is an element to which, like, Germany won the World Cup and the team was partly Turkish as well. Like, whatever. This thing does work in sport. Mo Farah, anyone? You know? Because, you know, there is another, you know, migrant came over here. Like, they will boast your sporting chances, lads.
Mo Farah is a Somalian who acquires gold on land. Nothing I don't like about him.
On the board are 6 categories. Ed, which category would you like?
Home news, please.
Home news it is. The answer is 63 years. What is the question?
Is it how long before the Lib Dems can legitimately book a conference room again?
What unusual present might people be giving this Christmas?
I think it's actually sperm.
It is sperm. Yes, it is sperm. Yeah.
But this
not an unusual gift. Horrific return policy. Not interested.
You said 14 days.
Oh, you've lowered the tone, Dara!
ruined it. How have I ruined it?
Unlikely things to hear on breakfast TV.
The world of show business has suffered another tragic loss. But don't worry, it's one of the ones you already thought was dead. If you hear a knock at your door, you could be the winner of £20,000. 2 knocks and it's a police raid. Hide the guns.
The next topic is lines you wouldn't read in a romantic novel.
She felt every part of his 8 inches. He was stiff, absolutely wretched, and even in her innocence, she knew her hamster was dead. Jeremy Corbyn, you've got me blindfolded. What are you going to do now? Nothing. I just wanted to highlight the injustice of inmates detained at Camp X-Ray without a fair trial.
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear in a school assembly.
It's your own time you're wasting, so please think twice about choosing media studies as an option.
We are not involved in extremism, and any suggestion we are is deeply offensive to us all here at the Jihadi Death to the West Academy.
Congratulations to the Year 7 football team who beat England.
There are 2 new girls in the school today, thanks to Louise in Year 9, who's just had twins.
New school rule from next term, there will be running in the corridors because we've had to sell off the gym.
Just this morning, we confiscated a bag of cannabis, and now we're asking all students to come forward if they've got Pringles.
Good news for last year's leavers. We have 4 at Durham, 4 at Edinburgh, 4 at Bristol, and you can't find a better selection of prisons than those.
And now for show and tell. And here is Miles with his cheese collection.
Congratulations to the first 11 who yesterday beat St Christopher's 37-0. St Christopher's is an intensive care unit, but nonetheless, well done.
Well, I'm really sad to be leaving you as your maths teacher. I've got no idea why I've been made redundant, because I've always felt that I've given 110%.
Just a note for 5D. When I said that Thomas should be in a blazer, I didn't mean set him on fire.
So, Ofsted inspection this morning, so burqa's off.
Now, I know today is no school uniform day, Barry, but we were hoping that you would wear something else.
And now the register is the reason that Mr Smith cannot be here at the school today.
So if ever you feel the need to do drugs, have a word with the supply teacher.
Now we play a round called Don't Put Your Nuts on the Road. This game involves Ed, Andy, Frankie and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winner is the team I judge to produce the funniest stuff. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is homelessness. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
I had a really great incident with the homeless bloke the other day. That sounds fairly dodgy. It was really, it's weirdly uplifting. So I gave him £1 and I was kind of walking away and he went, "Oh, mate, I've got a magic dog. Now, that is a sentence that buys you half an hour with me, right? And it had sick all down him, this dog, right? And the homeless bloke had sick down him as well. And I was like, what happened? And he went, oh, we was asleep in a skip and some bloke chucked up on us. It's the most depressing thing you've ever heard. And he just looked at me and went, no, it was amazing. Like, really? Why is that? And apparently what he did, still covered in sick, he stood up in that skip and just went, Aah! So this bloke was so drunk, he thought his vomit had come alive. That man will never, ever drink again. Beer, Dave, it comes alive! It comes alive! Lovely moment.
OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is taxis. Who wants to come in that?
One thing I don't miss about London is London cabbies. I used to live in Muswell Hill, a leafy suburb of London, about 6 miles north of here. That's what I thought when I bought the house. I get into a black cab in London's fashionable West End. Turned out I lived in the arsehole of nowhere. Because I'll get into a black cab and I'll go, Muswell Hill, please, and I'll get this. I go, no, mate, I'm not going that way. Like he thinks it's a bus he's driving. What do you mean you're not going that way? I'm not asking for a lift. You know, whenever I get this now, I just get in anyway. I go, all right, fair enough. Where do you want to go? Oh, spins them right out of that nose, doesn't it? You what? Come on, where do you want to go? I'm paying. No, mate, doesn't work like that. Yeah, that's what I thought. Muswell Hill, please.
Thank you very much, Brian. OK, that leaves us with Frankie and Andy to spin the wheel. The next topic is transport.
I think the moral of that story is never ride your horse on a runway. You're, of course, not supposed to take planes anymore, not a problem for me. The thing that always mucks me up, that little monitor that you get, you know, outside air temperature minus 56 degrees. I am inside the aircraft. I have no intention of going outside the aircraft. And if I ever did find myself outside the aircraft, my initial response would not be, ooh, bit nippy.
Well done, Andy. OK, let's see what's been left for Frankie. Let's spin the wheel. It's celebrity. There you go.
It was the anniversary of Elvis's death recently. People still think that Elvis faked his death. Surely if you were going to fake your death, you wouldn't do it in a shitting accident. I mean, you'd do something brave, wouldn't you? Rescue a wee boy from a river. Surely not a jobby-related heart attack. We had the anniversary of Princess Diana's death. I thought that at the concert, only Ricky Gervais paid a true tribute to Diana by dying a painful and horrible death. You can get celebrity sat-navs now. You can get a Princess Diana sat-nav. It just keeps saying, put your foot down, I think we can lose them. I'll be honest with you, that joke can go either way.
Thank you all. OK, at the end of that round, I'll give the point to Russell and Andy. Tasneem Aslam, spokesman for the Pakistani Foreign Ministry, the actual quote she said was, anyone who describes Islam as a religion as intolerant encourages violence, which is really having it both ways, to be honest.
There's a Qatari Muslim scholar who's called, in answer to this, called for a day of anger, which I think is not a day of action or a day of anger. What is it will really take it out of you if you have to spend the whole day just in a mood? You know? Coming on, what's for dinner today? You're work having to pretend to be angry all the time. And how do you make sure the women are doing it as well? You know, I hope you're frowning behind that black
That Ed was saying, the Pope doesn't seem to have his finger on the pulse. He's the head of the Catholic Church. They've never been that up to date, have they? They've always stayed a little bit behind on the...
Yeah. Well, no, they have, because I remember the last one. I remember JP2, as he's known in the street.
Yeah.
J to the P to the I. Because he apologized, in his last days, he apologized for the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah.
How old is this guy?
There is.
He's old. Yeah, sorry about that. We're in high spirits. We're all a bit drunk.
One of the great things that this Pope said was he said that we must all take the Da Vinci Code with a pinch of salt. And you think, well, he can talk. Oh, yeah, it's ridiculous, the idea that Jesus was married. We all know that he rose from the dead and flew up into the sky.
The Pope effectively just saying that he thought Christianity was superior to Islam.
Yes, he was.
But isn't that essentially his job? He is the head of the Catholic Church. He's not supposed to be there bigging up Islam, is he?
No. There's a difference between bigging up Islam and describing it as evil and inhuman. I think
not that he did that. All he did was quote a 14th century text, which, let's face it, compared to the Bible, was a hyper-modern text.
Yes, but I think we've all learnt, and surely the Pope has learnt, that the Muslim world tends to be...
What are you saying about the Muslims?
Touchy.
I think if you're going to lash out at a religion, lash out at the Buddhists. If you make a Buddhist really, really angry, the worst thing he'll do is set fire to himself.
Where has Jesus turned up recently?
In everyone, Dara.
He's turned up on MySpace, hasn't he?
He has turned up on MySpace,
He's got his own little page on MySpace now, and it's something along the lines of, you know, you've got to try and spot where you might be able to see Jesus, isn't it? And there's this big picture of like a pint glass with his face on it, and you're supposed to be... as if the only time you would see Jesus was after you'd finished a certain amount of alcohol.
The next topic is charity. Joe, you going for that?
All this talk of family makes you a bit peckish, doesn't it? It's comic relief, right? Keep asking me if I'll go out to Africa, you know, to sort of comfort people. But how are they going to feel with me getting off the plane? Hello! You're all hungry, are you? I've had a good dinner. And, you know, there are huge problems to be tackled in Africa. I don't know if you know this, but actually in South Africa, you can insure yourself against getting raped, because if you catch the HIV virus, treatment's really expensive. And what's that going to be like? You know, you're walking along, some bloke jumps out from behind a hedge, gets his ghoulies out, and you think, oh, Christ, there goes me no claims bonus there.
Sit down, Joe, please. OK, let's have another topic. Topic is crime. Who's coming in that? John.
The most important thing to remember about crime is that any law only makes sense in context. Look at sport. Punching someone repeatedly in the face is lauded in boxing, but is seriously frowned upon in table tennis. Similarly, if you come out of your corner in a boxing round bouncing a little ball on a bat, it's going to be literally seconds before you're staring at some lights. Furthermore, Moses. Now, there's a man who'd be on pretty much anyone's list of top 5 Jews. But think about it. When he led the children out of Israel, he was technically guilty of 3,000 counts of abducting a minor, bush arson, trespassing, and abducting the sea. And yet he walks free today. There really is no justice.
Well done, John. Very good. Sit down. Leaving us with 2 contestants. 1 topic we'll give you. Fight it out. Straight battle. What's the last topic this week? Jacques Chirac. Europe, let's say. Hugh, do you want to go first?
Britain isn't getting on very well with France at the moment, and it is partially because the French are a bit snooty. For example, take Concorde. Do you know, in the original version of Concorde, the French had their plane built with the front hinged the other way round, so it could turn its nose up when it landed. But the kind of European integration any of us seem to mind is town twinning. Everybody wants a French, town to twin with. And I didn't know how it happened, actually, until I recently went to Swindon. Met a bloke from Swindon Council. He told me that apparently it's very like getting a teenage pen pal.
on the basis that Swindon was getting on very well with Monte Carlo until they sent them a photograph and never heard from them again.
Very good, very good. Well done to you. Give him a round of applause. What? It is a head-to-head. Al, on the topic of Europe?
Well, of course, what's happened here is the French. The French have voted against Europe and now expect us to cough up for it. It's the classic example of the French attitude. They've lost the plot, basically, completely. I mean, these are people with a town called Brest, and none of them think it's funny. In any other country, a melted cheese would be regarded as a f***, wouldn't it? They're up to something, aren't they? No, well, I'm not done yet. Staying over there with their own customs. The point is, I think... I mean, that Eiffel Tower's a tragic waste of Meccano, isn't it? As a result, French boys have nothing to play with except themselves, and that's how it started, isn't it?
Al, thank you very much. Al Murray, give him a round of applause. Tough to say, I'm giving it to Hugh, I'm giving it that side. Sit down, both of you. Things you wouldn't hear on a political discussion show.
Sorry, did I interrupt you?
No, sir. No, you've had your say. Now shut the fuck up.
Round the table tonight, Eric Pickles. And round another table, 4 other politicians.
Sadomasochism is a perversion, but we will clamp down on it.
And tonight we'll be discussing Greece. First question, who'd win in a fight, Danny Zuko or Kaniki?
So, Nick Clegg, which of your 2 faces would you like to answer that question with?
Yes, I agree. Britain's performance in the second quarter has not been all we hoped for. But there is a reason for that. This is a tough job, and I am shit at it.
We will not let Abu Hamza off the hook.
Well, Mr Dimbleby, my question is, if I were a beleaguered European economy, how would you stimulate my growth? And that goes to contestant number 3.
Of course, I understand that people are worried about schools and hospitals, but what you don't understand is I don't give a shit.
Is anyone else horny?
And now we're going to head over and see what the polls are telling us. Hello!
Are they Chinese now?
A bit of Chinese.
Yeah,
they are. All right.
Well, it sounds like Polish, the way we say it here. Here in Poland.
Right, now let's go over to Wales and see what they're saying to us.
And so we have a question here for the Prime Minister from Nancy Cameron, aged 8. And it's, when are you going to pick me up, Daddy?
At the end of that round, the points go to Carl, Joe and Andy.
Unlikely things to hear in a restaurant.
Let's skip the pudding. You look like you've had enough already.
Wow, thanks for picking up the bill, Dara.
No, I'm sorry, we don't have snail porridge. No, this isn't owned by Heston Blumenthal. This is Heston Services.
How does crispy aromatic duck sound? Quack, quack. But that was before it was either crispy or aromatic.
Do I have a reservation? Well, I'm not sure about all these Polish people moving over here.
Table for two, please. But no food. I'm a woodworm.
This is a traditional Greek restaurant, so don't worry if you can't pay. The German government will cover it.
You'd like a Foster's? Hang on, I'll see if we've got any left. Barry, any Foster's left? Yeah, keg's nearly full, Jim.
Here's the tip. If you find the rest of the chef's penis, please let us know.
Have you been to a harvester before? I'm joking, no one comes twice.
It's nice to see the rugby players getting along with the dwarves.
Well, that's an unusual taste, isn't it? What is in this death by chocolate?
It's nice to see Zara and Mike getting along.
Yes, it is all-you-can-eat night, and that's why you can't come in, Mr. Pickles.
Oh, my God. There's a man's face in my soup and it looks just like me.
Excellent choice, sir. This lady is much fitter than your wife.
Rose for the lady. If you want to do something for the lady, why don't you fuck off?
OK, the point go to Chris Hughes. Unlikely lines from a TV detective show.
Interesting. I think it might be Fox.
Sierra, Alpha, Disco, Poker, Nipple. Actually, I've got no idea what I'm talking about. After 7 very tedious seasons, finally things pick up on CSI Salisbury.
I want photographs of the body. I'll take an 8x10 canvas, a keyring and a mouse mat.
There are 16 different semen samples in this bed, Sarge. I should have read the TripAdvisor report on this hotel.
And as you can see from the chalk outline, the victim had a tiny head and was sitting on a giant circle. Sorry, I think that's a disabled parking space.
So your crime number is 1000000. Oh my God, you're our millionth customer! I'm really sorry what happened to your husband.
Welcome to the new detective show from the Northeast. CSYI Newcastle.
2 inches to the left, and that bullet would have gone right through your eyeball. But as it is, it went through the other eyeball.
Oh, God, I have to go to the morgue. He's always eating a sandwich. We get it, you're desensitised. Well done.
Everybody get down, because this is disco.
Look, I am genuinely sorry that your father never hugged you, but when I said, it's the police, open up,
OK, then, I suppose what we can deduce is either the victim was naked and extremely well endowed, or whoever drew this chalk outline is very immature.
On the doll, please show me where you were grabbed by the president.
Ms. Harris, I'm sorry to have to do this, but we want you to identify a body. This body... No, but seriously, there is a body and we think it's your fiancé.
14 bullet wounds to the head. Classic suicide.
Oh, wait! Maybe it's a man pretending to shit like a fox.
Welcome to Sunhill Police Station. I'm PC, every British actor's first TV gig, and this is Sergeant Too Ugly for Hollyoaks.
Unlikely things to hear on a motoring programme.
Listen to that deep, throaty roar of the man I've just run over.
George Michael says he's never driven a car that's handled so well on the pavement.
Now, I would describe this car as being very nippy, but apparently I'm not allowed to say that. I have to say it's made in Japan.
I'm about to shag a bloke. Welcome to Ride My Pimp.
Women everywhere have come together to announce their favourite car. It's the red one.
This car has a fail-safe anti-theft device. It's a Vauxhall Corsa.
First, second, third, fourth, yes, all my wives have divorced me because I'm such a twat about cars.
It's just a car, innit? It gives a shit.
Thank you. This car is actually owned by Jeremy Clarkson, which is why I'm running my key along it now.
My first impression is that the dashboard layout is actually quite unorthodox and very minimalist. There doesn't seem to be a steering... actually, I'm sitting in the back.
Ah, it still has that new hitchhiker smell.
I don't know about you, but I think it'd be quite nice to walk today.
These sounds have been surprisingly low for the new Renault Bel End.
This car has been modified for the American market. It's got 6 cup holders, a sandwich stand and a small rotisserie attached to the dashboard.
This week on Top Gear, we're going to be talking about some penises. Cars! We're talking about cars! Cars!
This car's personalised management system remembers who you are and how you drive. This morning, it locked me out and told me to fuck off.
Well done, Dan Rock. The point to Ed, Catherine and Andy.
It has been the most relentlessly negative on both side campaigns. Like whatever. Genuinely, very, very quick quiz, right? As to who said it. Do we say or do we go, right? Do we remain, do we leave? Who threatened what, right? Britain be landed with a £2.4 billion bill. Is it if we remain or if we leave?
That's leave.
No, that's if we remain. According to Boris Johnson, Britain lose 3 million jobs if we remain or if we leave.
Leave.
Yep, that's very good. That's what the Remain campaign said. The value of homes will drop by a fifth if we remain or if we leave.
Oh, that was on Homes Under the Hammer.
Yes. There'll be fewer curry chefs if we remain or if we leave.
leave.
There will be fewer curry chefs.
Curry, that famously European dish.
Do you think if we
Bad
leave?
enough you stole our country, white people! Carry on.
If you say leave, it's if we remain. According to Priti Patel, the Leave campaign, they'll be starved of high-quality chefs by immigration policy. It'll cost each household £9,000 a year. Remain or leave.
Remain said that.
Remain said that, you're right, not leave. Are you following all this?
The only word I understood from that was curry. I've got no idea.
Even to the extent that people go, the value of homes in the UK will drop by a fifth, and then lots of people went, oh, great. Yeah, that's good, isn't it? Because then people can afford to buy homes. Oh, we hear about people not being able to afford to buy homes. No, it's a bad thing. Oh, it's a bad thing now. Thanks. OK, wait, yeah, is it a bad thing?
Some of the facts that
we
they
don't
are.
even know if things are good or bad.
Big worries for Brexit. One of the big fears they've got is that Europe keeps on expanding, so they keep on adding countries. And there is some, you know, there is some worry about that because Australia came second in Eurovision.
I think the problem... Well, you've got this John Major having a go at Boris Johnson, which is a blue on blue, did they call that?
Yeah,
I didn't understand what that was, and I was going to Google it, but then I thought, I don't know what kind of porn I'm going to say. The last thing I want to do is go, oh, Anthony Costa, you're better than that.
It's Smurfs. It's the magic flute.
What I mainly feel about it, though, is that basically we have got to make this last 3 weeks on this programme.
Yes.
We can't use all these jokes now. This effectively for us is tantric satire. Very easy.
OK. We're going to hold back. All right.
Unlikely things to hear at the World Cup.
And here comes the Irish team.
Cold. Sorry, that is... Wow. You're getting buzzed to fuck for the rest of it. Okay. Sorry, Hugh, you have to go in there? Yeah,
it's okay.
absolutely,
That's
Hugh.
fine.
Here with the first answer is Hugh.
And here come the Irish team.
Hello, I'm really sorry we didn't get in this year.
And up in the stand, the Uruguayan women with their chant, Uruguay, and I'm a gwirl.
And Portugal have beaten Spain, and Saudi Arabia have beaten a woman for wearing shorts.
Jamie Vardy managed 4 shots in the first half, 3 Sambucas and a Skittles vodka.
And that is a great shot from the Russian, but unfortunately the journalist has survived.
So it's Panama's first time at the tournament, but they have been doing FIFA's accounts.
And Sterling has taken a dive. That's it for financial news. Back to the football.
Well, it's official. England are out. And we can go back to identifying people with flags in their windows as racist.
Well, let's have a look at the Swedish bench. £12.99 from IKEA.
Oh, and that is a huge tackle. That has got to make it more difficult to rollerblade.
Brilliant goalkeeper, David De Gea. Midfield maestro, Mesut Ozil. Fast forward...
And he's nipped round the back and banged in an absolute screamer. This really is the best leaked sex tape in the history of football.
Well, we didn't think it was possible, but somehow Gareth Southgate has managed it. England eliminated before the group stage.
Well, at 2-1 down, Iran had to do something, so they brought on their secret weapon, a 14-megaton intercontinental ballistic missile.
If you've just tuned in to England versus Germany, what are you doing, mate? Love Island is on.
Well, it looks like semis for Croatia. I wish they had worn bigger shorts.
That's a shocking miss from Jesus. They are going to absolutely crucify him for that.
Love a quiz. It is our Liz quiz. Obviously, we'd like
the expense that has been spent on that.
I really want to thank you for coming in and recording that little wave. What two common documents does the Queen not have?
The Da Vinci Code. And Life of Pi. Next.
Yes. Oh, the rest of them, she has them all.
She doesn't have a driving licence.
She doesn't have a driving licence,
no. Although she has qualified to drive.
Yes, she has. She can drive. She trained to drive in the army, as far as I know.
She did, yeah. She stripped down engines and everything.
Absolutely, yeah.
Passport.
There's no driving licence and is the only person in the country who doesn't need a passport, as they're issued in her name. And so she cannot issue in her own name because, you know... But I think she's relatively good on the ID front because she just take out a tenner and go... oh, you not get this? Go send a letter, bitch. What did the Queen invent with a dachshund and a corgi?
A dorgie.
Yes!
Is it?
Yes, it
I was
is.
joking.
She invented a breed of dog called a dorgie.
Which you say she invented it? What, she was there going, right, you put that in there now.
She didn't invent it, though, did she?
According to this card, yes, she did.
She couldn't have gone on Dragon's Den.
One needs £30,000 for 40%. It's always 40%. That's all they ever want, no matter how much you're going to say initially. 8%, 40. It's commonly known that the Queen owns the UK swans. Commonly known that the Queen owns the UK swans, says here. But what other water-based animals does she also have the right to own?
Ducks.
Not ducks, no.
Shopping trolleys.
I think it's... is it dolphins?
It is. It's dolphins, whales and sturgeons.
Pretty big on the royal family. I know a lot of stuff.
You really are, actually. It's quite worrying. Anything, dolphins, whales and sturgeons within 3 miles of the UK, they're hers.
Do the dolphins know, or do they just stray in and then that's it?
If they get too close, she's in a speedboat constantly, all right? Just patrolling that 3-mile limit around the country, right?
With her army of swans.
With her army of swans who work to track them.
When she does that wave, she's actually doing a fin motion to summon her dolphin army.
Army of dolphins, assemble! I come to do with an army of dolphins. I want £40,000 for 35% of the company.
I have invented a swolfin.
The most important thing to remember about crime is that any law only makes sense in context. Look at sport. Punching someone repeatedly in the face is lauded in boxing, but is seriously frowned upon in table tennis. Similarly, if you come out of your corner in a boxing round bouncing a little ball on a bat, it's going to be literally seconds before you're staring at some lights. Furthermore, Moses. Now, there's a man who'd be on pretty much anyone's list of top 5 Jews. But think about it. When he led the children out of Israel, he was technically guilty of 3,000 counts of abducting a minor, bush arson, trespassing and abducting the sea. And yet he walks free today. There really is no justice.
Well done, John. Very good. To Dan.
OK, the subject is alternative energy sources. Who's going to go in? John.
Despite what the government say, we do not need nuclear power in Britain. There are many great new alternative energies out there. Much of the Middle East is currently able to harness the power generated by hating America. Every flag burnt there is now hooked up to an enormous generator which can power a fridge in Tehran for a week. And this is renewable energy, because America have pledged under Kyoto to produce a new flag for everyone burnt. So, in winding the entire planet up, they are in fact pioneers in easing our reliance on fossil fuels. And we've got to do something. Britain is now so terrified of any rise in petrol prices that people in Britain have been seen at recent oil slicks wedging seagulls directly into their petrol tanks, screaming, "I've got to get to work! Keep still and tuck your wings in!"
Well done, John. Please, sit down. On that. John.
I, like most people, simply cannot understand why recycling my old tin cans has not sorted everything out. I want a proper explanation. At the very least, I want all my old tin cans back. What are they doing with my cans? We in the West are responsible for this. We consume far too much in the West, but if you want to talk about overconsumption, how about books? Millions of books are printed every year and most of them go completely unread. If we really want to save the planet, we need to return to the art of verbal storytelling. If an author has something that they want to say, they need to jump onto a horse, ride to the nearest village and start shouting. Let's see if Dan Brown has quite so much to say after that. Is it how many people actually care about the environment? I mean, actually, genuinely care. Don't say they care, but actually care about it.
At a gut level.
Well, let's face it, we all have far bigger and more tropical fish to fry. Greenpeace constantly thump on about how we must save this planet for our children, our children's children, and our children's children's children. But hold on, what if they don't have any children? They might not want children. Let's not spend what is quite a lot of money on hypothetical children. Also, I know kids, they like bikes. They like shiny red bikes. I promise you, you show a kid a clean rural stream and a shiny bike, and I'll show you a kid sitting on a bike whilst pissing in a stream. Are they not the future? So, you spray on. Where did all these flags come from?
It's Beirut. You can't buy a loaf of bread, but you can get 200 Danish flags to burn. What's going on?
You realise that most hysterical people now have got filing cabinets filled with all flags from all nations of the world, ready soaked in paraffin, just waiting for someone to say something unpleasant. Or what's that, Luxembourg? Oh, that's an offhand comment about Islam, isn't it? How do you like this? Any more for any more? I will take all of you down, Portugal. You're here somewhere.
Do you know what's very strange is that 27 years ago when I was at university, I studied Muslim law. I was one of the first people to study Muslim law in this country. And I'm also Danish, and I have never been so popular with the newspapers. They go, where can we find a Dane who knows about Muslim law? Wait a second. Whoever thought those two things in my life would suddenly come together?
That is the weirdest Venn diagram in the world.
It is
right? Set of all the people who are Danish, set of all the people, and then just you in the middle.
No, that's it. I'm it. I'm the one.
Yes, in the shaded area.
Yes.
It's just...
The Danish paper said that all they were trying to do was test extremist Muslims. You think, oh, well done, that was a fantastic idea. That goes right down with the whole kind of whether a bull can pass the whole red rag test as it's waggled in front of its face, or testing how hot a fire is by shoving your hand into it. Oh, it is hot. I have burnt my hand. I thought I would, but it's nice to know that it's nice to be sure. I'll check again. Still hot. Yeah, still hot. In these volatile times, ow again. Bob's owl fight aftermath. He didn't stand a chance. The owl constantly had the high ground and kept swooping and swooping. And he tried to fend him off with, like, a rolled-up leaflet about something good, but he just kept going. It attached itself to its head, and he can't be seen to hurt a living thing. He's a kind man, but eventually he just had to kill it with a brick.
His tactics were always bad in that. He actually tried to sneak up on the owl, but then the head spun all the way around. And the owl said, gotcha. Oh!
Don't ever try that, because they know exactly what you're doing. Great fighters, the owls.
Win in a fight between an owl and a tiger?
An owl. An owl.
An owl?
An owl has the high ground, Linda. The tiger, it's just going to come down. Exactly. The owl would basically adopt Muhammad Ali's rope-a-dope. It would make the tiger just swing itself out and then just go in and peck it. I think, hand on heart, we all know this is not making the edit.
Our first topic is sport. Who wants to come in on that? John.
So the hunt for the New England manager is now on, but the most exciting thing about this is it's actually going to be a hunt. The FA have bought a pack of hounds. They've given them a sniff of Alf Ramsey's old hat, and they were last seen marauding across the English countryside, tooting on their horns. Sport is now the only way to guarantee improvement in a country's transport infrastructure. Again, look at the Olympics. We're going to get this Olympic javelin train, which will go from King's Cross to the Games in just 7 minutes. But once again, the most exciting thing about this is it's actually going to be a javelin. You're going to have to get on board it like a witch would get on a broomstick, and then Steve Backley is going to throw everyone just short of their destination.
Very good, John. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you're unlikely to hear on a quiz show.
Here is your starter for 10. Spring rolls, sesame toast and chili balls with pork.
Hello and welcome to Ask the Family. Mr. Fritzl, where's the rest of them?
Hello, we're Ant and Dec, and welcome to Double Our Money. Double your money.
I'm Anne Robinson, and if my Botox wears off, my face will turn into a scrotum.
Look at what you could have won if you went to school.
Name? Ted Smith. Occupation? Carpenter. And your chosen specialised subject? The life and work of the carpenter Ted Smith.
For £1 million, complete this well-known phrase. The...
like a vowel, 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 vowel. Zzz is the answer.
I'm Richard Whiteley.
Welcome to Inflation Adjusted. Who wants to be a Zimbabwe millionaire?
It's the banker. He says he's got your kids.
And your question is on celebrities. What jocular Irish host of the popular show Mock the Week is known by his friends as Dobby for his uncanny resemblance to the house elf in Harry Potter?
$25 in a row. What is the question?
How many green bottles are standing on Charles Kennedy's windowsill?
Is it you've just been picked up whilst hitchhiking? What's the last thing you want to hear the truck driver chuckle as he nods towards the 24 empty rucksacks in the back?
Is it how many times has Dara O'Brien cracked one off on Blue Peter?
It was unfair to draw her into a political battle. I was not going to have a session with the woman or something.
Can a
man not form an unnatural attachment to someone they've never met on the television without it resorting to masturbation jokes? He's just made a little shrine.
I've not made any little shrine. And can I point out, stop writing Dara fancies Connie on a piece of paper. I think she's twice been unfairly dragged into political discussions that are not of her doing, and that's what I'm defending here.
Is it for how many years has the UK finished bottom of the Eurovision Song Contest?
How many times has... We won it in 1997, happen to know.
Did we?
That shoots you down, my friend.
Would you like to sing us that song, David?
Well, I would, but unfortunately a court order says I mustn't.
It was Katrina and the Waves, actually.
Is it how many times does Victoria Beckham throw up during lunch?
Is it how many letters are there after A?
Is it Cliff Richard has had 25 top 10 hits? How many were shit?
Is it? How many researchers from GMTV won phoning competitions last year?
They're just very good on those questions. I'm going to steer you towards the correct answer. It is an education issue.
Is it to do with GCSEs?
It is to do... No, actually, no, it's through at A-levels, actually.
OK. The results are getting better every year, and they have been for the past 25 years.
That's exactly right. Well done, Russell. First subject is language. Who wants to come in on that? Chris.
Language, apparently, was developed by humans to help them during hunting. That's what people will tell you. I don't buy that. I think language is more likely to have developed spontaneously, probably between a cave couple who were just furious with each other, incandescent with rage, but completely incapable of expressing their emotion, just standing opposite each other in the cave mouth, going until something had to give. And one of them finally snapped and went, "You prick!" Oh, it's all coming out now, isn't it? Never clean this cave up. This place is a tip. Well, why didn't you say something before? Well, I couldn't, could I? You're a pig, you are. My mother warned me about you. Oh, really? How? Bantu, the Bantu languages of the southern African peoples, they speak with a system of clicks and tuts, this kind of using their throat and their tongue, and they're constantly surrounded by horses they've no need of. It's a nightmare for them. Bantu for go away horse is... They're screwed, really, isn't it?
Thank you very much, Chris. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is home life. Who wants to come in? Sarah.
My home life involves no children. I don't really like children. And if you ask, most of my female friends don't have kids. If you ask any woman who doesn't have kids what would worry them about having kids, the answer would always be childbirth. From what I understand of childbirth, it changes you downstairs, doesn't it? It changes you downstairs. I quite like my downstairs the way it is, thanks very much. Certainly don't want an extension. But it's bound to change, though, isn't it? Because you're forcing a person out. That's what you're doing. You're forcing a person out. I've never forced a person out. I forced a couple in. But I was in a shop recently, and this little boy came running over to me, put his hand in mine and shouted, "Mammy!" And I thought, oh, sometimes forget me keys, but I think I'd remember that. And then his dad came over, and I thought, I wonder if this is the best chat-up line ever. And his dad's going to go, "No, no, that's not your mammy. Remember, your mammy left us because my willy's too big."